Good morning. It's an early morning. The city is still asleep. It seems like only me and the birds, the trees and the wind are awake. I just saw how the water car passed by. And the early birds are flying in the sky. Can you see them? I love these hours when it feels like it's only me and the city. Let's go in and prepare some breakfast. Before I put on this white summer dress to go to the kitchen and talk with you on camera, I just wanted to show you this book that was in my bed as I was reading it at night. It's called De Verbo in Verbum. Вечные истины на вечной латыни. It translates as eternal truths on eternal Latin. It's a collection of different wisdoms and quotes, and I just like to open it on a random page and read it. For instance, here it says, the first one, yes, Faber est sue, quisque fortune. Faber est sue, quisque fortune. Каждый сам кузнец своей судьбы. And that basically translates as, each of us is the master of our own fate. And I definitely agree with that. Let's go to the kitchen now. See, I bought it in Moscow a long time ago. It was 88 rubles. And have our little discussion. Now, what do you think about this sort of books? A collection of wisdoms and quotes. I like this book and such books. I would like to have more of them. But I must say I don't know how I feel about just quote collections in general, because sometimes people start quoting things from books that they've never read. I just don't know how I feel about it. I think I don't feel very positive about that, because it's just not the same thing. Just taking a line out of the book and having read the book. It's just two different things. Reading and just taking line, or reading the short description, the short story. It's different, you know. That's why there are some good writers that can tell stories. They know how to tell stories, and that how makes a huge difference. And yes, that's why I don't know. But I would like to get more books of this sort. Maybe reach to you. You can recommend me some if you know of books of this kind that I would enjoy. You? Shall I try something more? Let me see. Let's see. Oh, this one is very good. Si judicas cognosce. Si judicas cognosce. Si judicas cognosce. Если ты судишь, сначала пойми. And that translates into, if you are judging, first understand. si judicas cognosce. If you're judging, first understand. This is coming from a painful place for me, because I see so many people who are judging, discussing and judging when they about subjects and people that they have zero understanding of, and they think that they do have an understanding, but as soon as they start talking more about the things that they're judging, you realize that they're just like very far from that field. And I think it's true, if you're judging, you should also understand deeply. Of course, I'm not saying I've never done that and that I'm not guilty of it. Of course, we all do such things. Sometimes we just want to express our opinion, but then there are places where you have to be just a little more careful, and do your homework a little better. And yes, and if you're judging, first understand, and just don't be judgmental in general. I think it's a really big karma spoiler, if you will, because I often see a lot of judgmental people that are just so angry. Everyone can get angry. Everyone has the right to be emotional and express their feelings, anger included. But sometimes it's done like about matters such as how someone else is dressed. I may not like it and I may express it, but I don't know. I think there's just a very, very thin line. And if someone is telling you where to go and where not to go, who to date, who not to date, when to get married and when not to get married, how to dress, how not to dress, or just how to work and how not to work, when they, like, I think sometimes, like, those personal things that no one has the right. Why someone feel like they have the right to do it, and especially in a commanding manner? I just really don't like it. I really always hated it. Let's move on and let's get something from the very beginning. Shall we? Let's see. That's a good one. Who is making noise at these early hours? Should be banned. Bene audire alterum est patrimonium. Bene audire alterum est patrimonium. Добрая слава, второе наследство. This basically translates into good glory is second inheritance, which basically means good name is like something very important, and second inheritance, it's a big thing, so it almost does half of the job for you. Your good name. And it's also very true a lot of the times where even when we're buying something, just a simple example, yes, we're buying something, we'll prefer to buy that thing from a brand that we already know, because that brand has a good name, a glory. In the ancient times they would I guess call a good name glory. So that name already has the glory, the name, the experience behind it. I'm filming on a Canon, and Canon has a good name. It's a well-known brand making cameras, and so I think it's true. In Armenian, there is even the saying, "Achkat durska, anunat durschika." Achkat durska, anunat durschika. It literally translates into, "You better lose your eye rather than lose your name." So I guess it's also yeah, or a more accurate translation, well, that means what I said. A more accurate translation would be, better your eye comes out of your eye hole rather than your name. But in English it doesn't sound right, so better lose your eye than your name. Of course, better for whom? Some people, I think, would rather keep their eye. But you know, I cannot say that I'm someone who pays so much attention about what people think of them, even though I was guilty of it when I was much younger. When I was a kid, not too young. When I was too young, I was like now. But then after a certain age, I started getting, I think because of my surroundings, the people that were surrounding me, really concerned of what people think. And if before, if someone was talking negatively about me, I would have this urge, this feeling like, oh, I wish they knew me. If they only got to know me, they would know that they're wrong. I'm not that person at all. And now I'm like, don't like me? I don't even want you to like me. There are certain types of people I don't even feel like being liked by. Do you share this or what? Let me know. That would be very interesting to hear. How many did I read? I think I read 5. Is that enough for today? Would you like me to read more? My water. Needed to drink a little more. You know, I tried to film this video yesterday, but I didn't wake up so early, and it became really noisy. And yesterday I had prepared beautiful breakfast, amazing breakfast. The ladушки was so beautiful with jam, and I filmed at the beginning, and then yes, I realized that because we have 2 neighbors now that are doing renovation in their house. One is over there behind this wall in front of me, and the other ones are they're actually further from us, downstairs on the 1st floor, but you can still hear the sounds because they're just drilling, and it's very loud. And it would be drilling like every maybe 2-3 minutes. So I filmed 28 or 38 minutes in total, and then I realized that this will take forever to edit because just cut. Guys, this is so tasty. But I promise you, not too sweet. Not at all. If I was drinking this during the day, I would have added more jam. And of course I have to eat these. Now bizarre. Sour and sweet at the same time. Such a wonderful combination. Sour cherries. These are not normal sweet big cherries. These are the sour ones. I love it. I don't like, by the way, eating them just on their own, but I really like, you know, this jams and how do we call all these just sugared ones. This is because this is not a jam, it's the sugared one. And of course I love compotes. I know that natural juice is more useful for you. It's healthier, cold pressed, but for some reason I just really like compotes and I really enjoy compotes. Am I the only one, or are you like that too? I hope there's nothing in my teeth, by the way, because it has some particles you can't see, but it has. So maybe if I was drinking it, something could get stuck in my teeth. Fully tasted. I haven't drink even the last drop. Amazing. Let me check on Molly to see if she's asleep. Yes, Molly is asleep. She even looked at me and she's like, oh. You know, yesterday me and Molly were taking a walk, and there was one dog named Rich. It was a boy, but my Molly is a girl, you know. And this Richard, he wanted to get to know Molly. He was much smaller in size, but they're about the same age. He was 8.5 or something months old, so they're pretty much the same age. And Molly was like, no, I don't want to play with you. And he was barking at him, and at the same time sometimes going forward and then going back. And then in the end, some minutes later, maybe 10-15 minutes later, they started playing, and it was so much fun. They were just like running this way, that way, this way, that way. They were so cute. I was so excited that I didn't even film it. Of course, it was impossible to film because, of course, Molly was on a leash and they were like running this way, that way, this way, or that way. The camera would be shaking, but I was very happy because for some reason recently it wasn't the case. Maybe it's an age thing. Maybe she's like giving away some energies, hormones, smells. Dogs have started barking on Molly, and of course I don't like it, but I also remember that Lady too had such a period when, and it was pretty much the same age, when I would go out with her and dogs would start barking. I don't know. I think it's going to pass because again Lady also had this sort of period and now she doesn't anymore. If dogs start barking, it's not because of her, but it's because of something else. Maybe they're thinking we're invading their territory, or they're just barkers basically. But my Molly is just a wonderful girl as well as Lady. Sometimes when I'm feeling down, I'm thinking, okay, but I'm blessed with such amazing family and such amazing dogs, and I'm feeling really grateful. And I was never a dog person, as you know. I even actually thought I preferred cats over dogs, but I was also never one of those people who say, oh, I love dogs and I hate cats. I don't know why hate. Why? I don't understand that. Maybe, of course, if someone had a negative experience, then I can understand. But in general, really, other than negative experience, nothing can justify hate towards animals. Of course, I understand that not everyone who says hate, they actually mean hate. They don't. They just mean I don't like. Are you more of a cat person or a dog person? Well, now, I've never had a cat. I always liked cats. Now I feel I'm a dog person. I'm a dog mommy. Of course I feel that way. I wonder, when was this book published? Oh, it was published in Moscow in 2000. My God, 2000. Such a long time ago. And I don't know how is it 2000 in Latin. I also wonder, what was their accent? What was the accent of Latin? We don't know how it actually sounded because there were no recordings. They didn't have the opportunity to record anyone speaking Latin. And we just don't know how would it actually sound. And I just really wonder how it would sound in real life, real people. If I'm like completely torturing this language reading it, I know I'm doing them. I'm reading it the right way in terms of, again, this sound feels like it's raining. What sound is it? Could it be the sound of water? Maybe the neighbors are turning on the water, or maybe you can't hear it. Maybe only I can hear it. Let me check something. And it went away again. I wanted to check what time it is now. It's 7:10. Wow, 7:10, 10 past 7. And so yes, I was talking about how I don't know how it sounded. I know I'm stressing the right syllables as I'm reading because there are instructions here. However, I don't know still how it sounded, in real life. And I really wonder, because there are so many historical figures that spoke this language. And it was, this book, only 88 rubles, even though not only, well, I'm sure we didn't buy it in the 2000s, we're too little, but still, 88 rubles, it's not so expensive and it's not so cheap. Well, now it's not expensive because 88 rubles now is around, let's check, by the way, rubles to USD. But today it's a different number than before. Oh, it's funny money, $1.22. But before it was more expensive. It was definitely not $1. It was probably around 5 or something. And such books make a wonderful addition for our dictionary. And for our dictionary, I'm saying, sorry, for your home bibliothèque. I will say it in French. I'm dreaming to have a library here because I have books in different drawers, but I don't have an actual wall with books, and I really want to, or at least if not a wall, just a few shelves, because I really like home libraries, bibliothèque. I love it. I feel that books are the soul of your home. I remember that was this TV show. Actually, it's still on air. It's quite popular in Armenia. It's been on since I remember myself. No, I'm lying. not since I remember myself, not that old, but certainly since I was a kid. and that show, basically, there are two guys. One is the host and the other one is the cameraman. They're visiting different celebrities or just famous people. Famous sometimes in their own field, not really famous on TV or something. And they went sometimes unexpectedly, by the way, really unexpectedly, not a setup. And sometimes it's a setup. When it's a setup, you can totally see because the guest already has the microphone as they open the door. And they're not trying to make it look like it's unexpected when it's not, which I really appreciate. And so they went to this Armenian reality TV show star, I guess. I don't know her name. I'd never seen her. And she was living in a huge mansion. She's not famous for anything. I think her father, an Armenian. I think her mom maybe was American or was Armenian. I don't know, but her father was definitely Armenian. And I think her mom was Armenian too. I don't know. It's not important. But her father was an Armenian. She was starring in an Armenian TV show. They were living in a huge mansion because her father is like really rich. And you could see as she was showing them around the mansion, even the bathroom was really luxurious and everything. And they entered one room. I think it was the study of her father, and that was the only room. The host said, "Oh, a book." So in this huge mansion, there was not a single, even like, a magazine, a journal. There was only a book in the study. And there were a lot of clothes that were not fitting in the closets anymore. And these clothes were hanging actually in the hallway. So you would walk a little bit. There was this little shelf with clothes. You would walk a little bit, another one. And she was like, "Oh, we don't have so much space anymore, so we were hanging our clothes in the hallway," which was really odd and it didn't look good. To be honest, it was strange. I didn't understand. And then it was really funny because they asked her about her favorite musicians. And like, she was very sweet. Like, don't think that I'm saying this to in too much of a negative way. I mean, she was brought up the way that she was brought up, and that's how she was, But it was really funny because they asked her about her favorite musician. And like, what do you listen to? What music you listen to? And then gave a name, I don't remember which, but like a classical composer. I don't remember if it was Babajanyan or was it someone like Komitas. And she stumbled and almost fell, which was really fun. Like, she was such a shock. I don't know if she'd heard about that name or what. But her favorite singer, she said, it was Armen Cheek, who is the so-called Rabbi's singer in Armenia. Basically, these are the sort of singers that sing only like a very certain, it's called Vetsut, 6/8 rhythm music, a very certain type of music. I personally don't listen to it. I can't listen to it. I totally understand people who do, because everyone has their own taste, and who am I to judge? But honestly, I've tried listening to it and I just can't. Sometimes if it's a party, because it's party music, I can dance to it sometimes, but honestly, if it was my party, I would do just Armenian national music. It's so much more like dancing party and fun. Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. I don't even know why I started telling the story. Yes, books are the soul of the home, and so there were pretty much no books in the entire house. And every time they're leaving, these two guys, the host and the cameraman, the celebrity that they visited, the person they visited, this guy, the host, he always has something witty to say. Like, he always ends his show with like a witty phrase. This time around, they sat into the car and they were just driving. And you could see the shock on their faces. They were just like, well, this was us, our show. Yeah, well, bye. I think they could see how, like, you could see how shocked they were at life. Yeah, and how there are so many different types of people in this world, and I think maybe they were expecting something else from someone so wealthy and so rich. They expected that something else, and I think she kept saying that her favorite thing is buying expensive things and bringing it home. It was really funny because I was like, I'd never seen them so like of course I don't, I just don't want you to feel like I'm being judgmental. I'm just telling you this story. I think everyone has the right to be happy in whatever makes them happy. If they're not harming anyone, then so what? So what? Whatever. I'm kind of feeling hungry already, because when you drink the water, well, in my case it was almost like comfort, because I had water with a little bit of this sugared sour cherry, the liquidy part. You should wait for 30 minutes because it wakes your body up, your organism, your body, your system, it wakes it up. But then, and by the way, I would like to have just a little bit more water. And then your stomach already also wakes up, starts producing the necessary juices, and it's a good idea to have some breakfast already. And I guess I will have some omelet, and I will have some bread and maybe sausages. Let's see. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to say that my mornings aren't always this chill and like this. I don't want you to view this video as an insight into my morning, because my mornings are very different from each other usually. And if your morning is a little more hectic or more relaxed, just don't feel bad about it. Sometimes I have breakfast in the balcony, but I didn't take you to the balcony because I knew that soon it would become noisy as the cars would be passing by. But maybe it's a good idea to do it sometime on an early morning when there are not so many cars, and a random car passing by will not feel so bad. But yes, I just wanted to, make that clear. And so let's open the refrigerator and see what I have there and what I want to make. By the way, what are you having for breakfast today? Let me know. And so I'm back with freshly made breakfast. As you can see on my plate, I have a smooth omelette because I didn't add anything to this omelette, and when I don't add anything, I like my omelette to be smooth and not messy. But I love an omelette with tomatoes, and that omelette looks messy. Some greens here, and pieces of bread with some chorino. Chorino is quite similar to pepperoni, but it's chorino. And so I'm going to enjoy it when it's still warm. Let me see how my omelette turned out. Turned out really well. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I will leave you now to have my breakfast. Maybe go into the balcony and have it there. I wish you all a wonderful day ahead, or a wonderful night ahead. And when you wake up in the morning, you are all rejuvenated and relaxed. And of course, let me know, what do you really like to have for breakfast? And don't feel pressured. This is not how my mornings look always. Sometimes they're even much better and more interesting than this. This was a boring morning. Sometimes they're really hectic. They're just different. I'm a person that hasn't got used to a certain routine yet. Maybe I will with time, but so far it's quite spontaneous. Alright, I hope again that you enjoyed this video, and we will meet very